I'm Devorah Wallen, and I'd like to share my Tea for Two, my Torah thought, for 2 minutes, more or less. This week's Torah portion is Beshalach, which begins with the words, Vayhi Beshalach Paro es ha'am, when Pharaoh sent out the people. Finally, after the 10 plagues, Pharaoh let the Israelites go. When he realizes what he did, he regrets it. Hashem hardens his heart once again, and he goes after the Jewish people with his armies and chariots. Poised at the Yam Suf, the Red, or literally the Reed Sea, after being enslaved for generations, the Jewish people are finally physically out of Egypt. Our bondage, however, was not only physical. As we learn at the sea, some of us wanted to go back to Egypt. The word for Egypt, Mitzrayim, has the same root of Meitzarim, constraints and limitations. Hashem told Moshe, "Lift your rod and hold out your arm over the sea and split it, so that the Israelites may march into the sea on dry ground. And I will stiffen the hearts of the Egyptians so that they go in after them, and I will gain glory through Pharaoh and his warriors, his chariots, and his horsemen," etc. After all the miracles and the plagues that got the Jewish people to this place, one would think we would be inspired and excited to leave the place of bondage. Yet, evidently, we had our own inner paros within our psyches. While there is an inner Moshe in each of us, a leader who goes on sacrifice for his people, there is also an inner Pharaoh who enslaves us, holding us back from true liberation. Some of our brethren wanted to go back to Egypt. Some wanted to fight the Egyptians. Some said we should pray. However, one brave leader, Nachshon, the son of Aminadab, decided to listen to Hashem's command to Moshe, that when his rod was lifted, the sea would split and provide dry ground for our march across it. Once he followed the instructions to just go, the sea split. It was as if his trust created the miracle. We elaborated last year regarding the verse that we are told will get us through this dilemma of the Egyptians on our tails and the Red Sea in front of us. The verse states, "Don't be afraid, be strong and see the deliverance of Hashem. Hashem will battle for you. Remain silent." It seems that despite all the apparent guidance that Hashem provided the Israelites, we still hesitated. Hashem needs to tell Moshe Rabbeinu then, tell the Israelites to go forward. True freedom is not simply about being physically liberated from oppression, but about being mentally, emotionally, and spiritually free as well. We all have our internal constraints and Meitzarim. Our bondage is in the limitations we create in our own minds and hearts. Bitachon, trusting, after we have made our own efforts, can release us from our own limits and inner chains. Even though the various factions were willing to do something other than walk into the sea, it took Nachshon's initiation and trust to activate the miracle of the splitting of the sea. Even when things appear to be bleak, if we know that the effort to be made is for something positive, we need to take the step and walk into the challenge, as Nachshon did. As the Bitachon poem goes, you do your best, and Hashem will do the rest.